What makes a gaming studio great? Okay. Now, it's no secret to many of you that this is the first game the team at Illuvium have ever produced. And they've had their ups and downs, they've had their hiccups in the early parts of this development process, but we've seen them deliver. We've got 3 betas currently underway and PvP just around the corner, and there's even more to come. Now, what's interesting is that even though they're a new gaming studio, they've got lots of people from lots of different walks of life that still understand what makes something great, what makes something significant, innovative, and interesting to the audience. And I want to come out and say it. I've been stuck in this Illuvium bubble for a very long time. You guys know that. I'm very bullish on Illuvium. I think the token's great, tokenomics, gameplay, everything. But there are many critics out there, and these critics don't necessarily have a bad point for anything, right? The game, especially the overworld, can feel kind of dull and kind of boring at times. That's definitely a fact, and Grant's going through and fixing all that now. He's very dedicated to that. But what I more wanted to point out was I've always thought the art was perfect. I've always thought it was like the best looking art in any game ever. And I still believe it's fantastic and graphically beautiful, especially in the Web3 space. But I'm starting to realize that it's definitely not perfect and there's a lot of work to do. And these leaks here show that what I missed, and I probably shouldn't have, the team is dedicated to improving, fixing, and perfecting over the next 5 to 10 years. They plan on being around for a long time. And you guys might not see this leak this way, but I do. Initially, there were some leaks posted in the Discord of upgrades to Crimson Wastes. And the first thing I thought was that looks like what I'm already used to. It didn't look any different to me from a first glance. Now they've put them side by side and it does look better. Now it doesn't look perfect. It doesn't look like you're running through, I'm trying to think of a good example. It looks like you're running through Cyberpunk or The Witcher 3 or there's both awful examples. It's not like you're running through Elden Ring. Elden Ring's pretty phenomenal. But you can see that it's night and day between these two graphical styles and the improvements made to the one on the right. And this is the least impressive of the 3 I'm about to show you. And what does this mean? This means that even though on the left here you can see that image, and I personally was like, yeah, this game is blowing everyone else out of the water. This has the best looking art and great open spaces that look really phenomenal and have a lot of unique art in them as well. There's nothing worse than mega scan assets being used on every single Unreal Engine game in the world, but I thought it was the best thing out there. But now that I look at this again, it looks like 2D it looks like RuneScape graphics. I mean, in this screenshot at least, it looks a lot better in game, let's be honest. But the way the grass sits there in particular kind of looks weird. But as you can see, the team isn't as dumb as I am. As an average person looking onto the game, the team knew better. Now, this still has some work to do, but you can already see the graphical enhancements on the bones of the Leviathan there, all the grass and the way it's more procedurally generated and the pathing as well. And we go into the next leak here, and this one is a way better example, especially on the rocks on the right here. You can see that the textures are nice and they fit the desert theme really well, but on the right, they're a lot smoother, a lot crisper, and the path as well. The path is very RuneScape on the RuneScape or World of Warcraft on the left here, and it's a little bit more Elden Ring on the right here, although it's not super duper phenomenal, and there are other textures they can use. And we don't even know how much this was rendered out. Maybe this was barely rendered. I have no idea what they've gone through with these steps, but the team is delivering. The team knows what needs to be worked on. Apart from gameplay, trust me, they're doing a lot with gameplay as well. I can tell you that much. But they know that to get that AAA quality, they need to keep putting in the work and keep upgrading it because it is just not perfect yet. And they won't release it in a perfect state, but they know where it needs to get in the end in this 5 to 10 year minimum journey that they're going on. This next one here is Abyssal Basin. Now, I still think Abyssal Basin is the most beautiful of the 3 regions, and it's hard for me to compare this with the previous thing, but the big thing that we're working on is the lighting and the dynamic lighting between things, and you can see there's a lot more darkness towards the bases of the trees, and they're much lighter at the top, which is not something we've really had with the previous iteration of Abyssal Basin. And I think, again, this looks beyond amazing, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the Illuvium journey has for us.